What's up, peeps? Oh yeah, I forgot to hold the mic up. All right, I figured I'd do a note from the universe today. I might actually do another vlog, but I'm not really sure. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, so the note from the universe for today says, "It's like once you're prepared, peeps, truly prepared to carry on for as long as it takes, you'll quickly find, as all movers and shakers have before you, that it doesn't take long at all. Surrender to the path and go. The universe." Then it goes on to say, "This is among the greatest secrets of all time, peeps. Right up there with how sound built the pyramids." Shh. I didn't actually know anything about sound and the pyramids. I don't know a whole lot about the pyramids, but I can't honestly imagine like them getting to that last little, you know, concrete tip on the pyramid and being like, wow, that really didn't take that long at all. But I do see what Mike means in this note. Um, what was I talking about? This is my second time recording this, so if it seems a little whatever, I computer fail, whatever. Um, I have this piece of paper that appears and reappears at different points in my life, and I've read it to you guys actually in a video. And I always say the dude's name wrong. I think it's Girth or Goeth, but it's Goethe. And he talks about the crossroads and how when you're at the crossroads and you make a decision about which way you're going to go, when there is a lack of hesitancy, I always have a hard time saying that word. I feel like I'm five. Hesitancy. Did I say that right? I think I said that right. When you have that absolution in your decision of which way you're going to go, providence will move and the universe will move to support that decision. And it's interesting that this note talks about that, because actually the other day I was just talking to Ange about that piece of paper, and I was thinking about it. Like, I was driving to work. You guys know I work at the garage and stuff, and I don't have a far commute to work, but I was driving and I was thinking about that, and I was like, well, it's interesting that when I made the decision to learn something new, and actually I would have never called Uncle Ed's if Ange hadn't told me to. And the reason for that is I had no experience. I only knew that I wanted to learn about cars, and I always have. Because my granddaddy was a mechanic. He was actually a mechanic in the army for years. And then after that, he worked at a Shell station, which had a garage attached to it. Anyway, so, I mean, he's one of the biggest role models that I've ever had in my life. And I kind of try and be like him as much as possible because I think he's that amazing. So anyway, I made the decision to want to learn cars. And I was like, she said to call, and I was like, there's no way. I know nothing about cars except for tires because I worked at a BJ's Tire Bay when I was a teenager. I was probably like 18 or 19, I don't know. And I was like, there's no way that they're going to give me a job. But she kept saying, call. Just call. What's the worst they can say? No? I'm like, all right, fine, fine. I actually called just to shut her up. Like, there was no way I thought that they were going to give me a job. Yes, honey. Yes. I called just to shut you up. So, so I called and I was like, I was kind of like, I really want to learn cars. Whatever. What type of experience would I have to have? And they're like, customer service experience, but beyond that, none. And I was like, wow, what? And so I went in and I applied and so on and so forth. So I had no idea how I was going to learn about cars because I didn't want to go back to school and accrue student loans to learn cars. I didn't want to do that. I was like, maybe somebody in my neighborhood will know cars and they'll be willing to show me some stuff. Like, it wasn't an aspiration to be a mechanic. It was just a desire to learn something. And because I felt it so strongly, the universe provided a path. And it provided a path in a place where I absolutely didn't expect one. So I can understand, like, and I'm kind of off the beaten track with the topic, but I guess I just wanted to talk about that. I don't know. So basically, I think you guys will be able to hear me a lot better because the AC just went off. So now I'm like shouting, and you're like, whoa. Um, it's interesting that once you decide, I'm willing to stay on this path for as long as it fucking takes, and I don't care, I'm gonna do this. It's interesting that then the path may not seem that long because you're willing to do what it takes to actually reach that destination. So the destination becomes the focus. If you're sitting there thinking, like, oh my God, this is so hard, this is so hard, this is so hard, I'm never going to get to where I want to be. That's going to make the trip seem that much longer. But if you're just focused on that end point, that destination, it makes sense that the trip would seem more, the journey would seem more doable or manageable. I don't know. That's the way I saw this note. And you guys know I usually have to look back at a note a couple times to know that I talked about everything on it. It's so funny because you know how sometimes you work at a job and then you realize that the people that you met there meant more to you than the actual job. Well, when I worked at Meyer, there were a couple of people that I worked with. One of them was Everett, and the other was Anita. And they were both very different, but I knew that I kind of had met them for a reason. And I don't quite know the exact reason, but I remember Everett. And I was thinking about him when I first read this because uh, they nicknamed him Sam when he started working there because he was a shaker and a mover. I mean, literally, this kid would like go in the back and like have a pallet unstacked in like 15, 20 minutes. And he just, I don't know, he showed up with such energy that it was contagious. And it was interesting to me because, like, sometimes he would work like a 10-hour shift and he'd be just as energized when he was punching out as he was when he punched in. And I was like, dude, you just worked for like 10 hours lifting heavy shit all day. Like, how do you still have energy? And he's like, I'm just excited. Like, he was just excited about the journey. It was just like he lived so in the moment that he was just, it was contagious. And I don't think I'll ever forget about him because he just, no matter what they put in front of him, he always had like this positive energy, and he was just like, I don't care if I have to work 12 hours to get this stuff moved and to get the floor stocked. That's what I'm going to do, and it's going to get done. It was just really cool to be able to work with somebody like that. I wonder, do you guys know anybody like that? Do you have a friend or a family member that, they just have that attitude of like, I'm willing to do what it takes. I'm willing to work on this path for as long as it takes to get where I want to get. That can also apply to a health journey because you can have weight gains, weight losses, weight gains. I know I certainly have. And as long as you have that end point in mind, like, I want to be healthy, I want to be as healthy as I can possibly be. As long as you have that attitude, you're going to reach it. Or at least that's what I believe. So, anywho, I hope that you guys are well. Travis, I got your message. I might actually be able to give you a call a little bit later. Eden, I'm sorry I missed you last night. I sent you a message on YouTube because I was up for a little bit, but then I ended up going to sleep because I was tired. So yeah. I hope that you guys are well. I hope that wherever you are, you're safe and happy and surrounded by loved ones. And yeah, thanks for stopping by to share a part of your day with me. Much love. Peep out.